And joining us now is one of the youngest ever professional football players to be named a team captain. Notre Dame fans will always remember the left side of that O-line that had Big Q and Big Mike side by side. Mike McGlinchey, welcome to Notre Dame Day.
Hi, thanks for having me on.
Mike, let's go back to your days at Notre Dame. What was it like for college defensive linemen lining up against you and Quentin Nelson on that left side? Any good memories you can share with us?
Yeah, there's plenty. We had a great run at school with not just Q and I, but the guys that came before us of Zach Martin, Nick Martin, Ronnie Stanley, Alex Barr, Sam Musser. We had a hell of a group. And over my 5 years at school, there's plenty of memories that stick out. But probably my favorite one that we had was my fifth year. We dismantled USC at home in a top 10 matchup where we beat them by about 40 points. And our line had a big part of that. And I think we rushed for close to 400 yards or something like that day. And that's one I hold on to for a long time.
Now, we hear a lot about the tradition of the offensive line at Notre Dame and what it's like in that room. You lived it. How was this manifested, and what were the standards that were set before you that you have since followed since you left?
Well, we had an unbelievable coach. Harry Hiestand changed all of our lives and for the better. Not only if you weren't a football player or not, Harry made you into a grown man, and he taught you how to live life the right way, how to work the right way, and how to be a part of a team, and how to be a part of a group, and how that matters, especially in the position that we play. And it's been a huge blessing to be able to carry those lessons on throughout my career in football and in life. And I think it started with Harry, but it also resonated with the whole group. We had a great group of guys over my 5 years there, and then the years after. Since then, I know there's a lot of great guys still there, but we had a hell of a deal, and very, very thankful to be a Notre Dame offensive lineman.
Yeah, really a brotherhood. Now, when you look back at your time at Notre Dame on the football field, in the classroom, how do you think Notre Dame prepared you for life on and off the field in the NFL?
Well, I think it certainly on the field speaks for itself. The career that I had at Notre Dame and the teammates that I had helped shape me in order to be able to become what I always dreamt of being, which was, a professional football player. Coach Kelly and his staff and the strength and conditioning staff that we had and the training staff that we had prepared me to be a pro, and they did it from day one, from the time I stepped foot onto campus, and it truly shaped me into who I am today. And off the field, it doesn't get much better than Notre Dame. I'm obviously a proud alum, one of the guys that drinks the Kool-Aid pretty hard, and I don't think there's a better place to go to school than ours. The people that you get to meet, the professors, the supporting roles in academic life, and the student body, and the cool thing about what we were able to do and live on campus 3 years I did in Siegfried Hall, ramble on, So we had a great experience there as a student life, and we were not. Notre Dame is so good because it integrates you into a community, and by doing so, teaches you a lot of real life lessons that you take on for a long time.
Obviously, playing in the NFL, there's some differences compared to playing in college, but there's nothing quite like a Notre Dame game day. Former football players from Notre Dame say they miss that. What do you think they are referring to exactly?
Well, I mean, it's the whole experience of the whole weekend. And my mom and my dad always tell me they're, as great as you are, I've been fortunate enough to play in the Super Bowl, but there's still something that Notre Dame holds on to that just might be a hair better. And it starts on Friday when you get into town, the pep rallies, the trumpets under the dome, that feel for the families, the feel for the student body, the communities. You just, as soon as you step onto campus, you just feel the air about you. And then, on Saturday with the, 81 or 85, that whatever the number is strong, there's no greater stadium in the country to play football in other than Notre Dame Stadium. And just something about that crisp air in South Bend, whether it's cold, whether it's hot, it doesn't matter. Everybody's there. It's always sold out, always have a great fan base, always have a great support system. And just when you hear the band strike up the song, every time you score a touchdown, you get chills down your spine. And there's nothing like it. There's never going to be a place like it. And it's really hard to replicate no matter how deep in football you get.
Sure. I've only been as a fan, but it really is something special. Let's talk about this current team. The Fighting Irish are going through a major transition on the offensive line with potentially 4 new starters lining up against that Florida State defense Labor Day weekend in Tallahassee. We know this is a well-oiled machine. Tell fans at home why they shouldn't be concerned about this offensive line.
Well, they have a great coaching staff and great kids to lead them. And I know there's guys there that I played with that are still going to be stepping up, and they have a 5th-year leadership and guys like Josh Lugg. And I know I never played with Jarrett, but Jarrett Patterson's played a lot of football for Notre Dame, and he's a great player and has done a great job. Coach Quinn's done a great job continuing the tradition that we set when I was there. And on top of it, you have two great, Coach Kelly, I think, is one of the greatest leaders in the country in the way that he's able to prepare and get a football team to go and get to where it needs to be. And Tommy Rees is as good as anybody in the country right now of putting his players in a position to succeed. And so I don't anticipate any problems happening for Notre Dame football. I think they're going to be fine. Obviously, it's a huge challenge replacing as many seniors as they've lost this year, but if any school and any coaching staff's ready to do it, it's us.
Love to hear it. Now, you've had 4 unique seasons in the NFL, riding the lows and the highs. Obviously, 2019, very much a high for the 49ers. What was that Super Bowl experience like for you?
It was incredible. That whole season just was every week. It just seemed to build and build and build. We started 8-0 and just couldn't. It just didn't seem like we could fall apart. And there was just each week we just kept getting better and better and better. And we had unbelievable leadership from another Coach Kelly disciple and one of my best friends, Joe Staley. He was our offensive tackle. DeForest Buckner was on our team, and another unbelievable human being. George Kittle, the superstar that he is, and Fred Warner and Richard Sherman. I mean, I can go down the list of the guys that I was fortunate enough to play with in that season. And on top of it, I think, Kyle Shanahan is the best coach in football. And that year was magic from start to finish. There wasn't a game that we shouldn't have won. And unfortunately, the Super Bowl didn't bounce our way, but we were 6 minutes away. And if we could have just closed the deal, it would have been ours. And unfortunately, Mahomes' magic took over. But what a year, what an experience. And hopefully we can take from that experience building in 2021 with a little bit less stressful COVID year, and hopefully keep our guys healthy and on the field, because we got kind of attacked by the injury bug last year. So hopefully we can stay away from that.
Well, Mike, thanks so much for joining us. Your love for Notre Dame is certainly infectious, and we wish you the best of luck this upcoming season.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on. Go Irish.